Forced to travel with her family to an Alabama Army base where EPA agent Father Steve has been assigned, angsty teenager Marty Malone finds it difficult to adjust, especially alongside her stepmother Carol and her half-brother Andy. Yet she does find a friend in the base commander's daughter Jen Platt, who brings about some excitement to her dull surroundings. However, something sinister is stirring up quietly around them, as base doctor Major Collins suspects a growing paranoia amongst the soldiers. Yet when Andy witnesses his mother shockingly disintegrate in her bed, only to be replaced by a creepy duplicate, absolutely no one believes the young boy's frightening claims. Yet as bizarre behavior becomes more evident, the closer the terror begins to creep up upon them. Eventually, when these plant-like pods attempt to absorb Steve and Marty while they sleep, the horrific reality crashes in on them, and they all scramble to find an escape from this waking nightmare that may come to infest the entire world. So the third adaptation of Jack Finney's novel The Body Snatchers saw its release in January of 1994 to a few dozen theaters after Warner Bros. Felt very sketchy about the film's release, despite it gaining many positive reviews at the Cannes Film Festival, and this ultimately resulted in it gaining less than $500,000 at the box office, but apparently gained a fan base on home video. And originally it was being developed in the late 80s with co-writer Stuart Gordon intended to direct, but ultimately was replaced for whatever reason. Thus, director Abel Ferrara, known for his independent films such as Ms. 45, Bad Lieutenant, and King of New York, was brought onto the film late in pre-production and was settled with a less than enthusiastic setting for the film, as Ferrara became a very big fan of Finney's original story, and felt that the military base setting was the worst starting point for a Body Snatchers premise. Now, I have a lot of respect for Abel Ferrara, partly due to his ambitious attitude and kind of give no fucks type of mentality, but also because he can put together a really solid piece of work. And while the military base setting seems to confine the potential scope of the story, Ferrara never comes off as not being invested in crafting an effective film. And his visual storytelling is absolutely excellent here, backed up by his rigorous cinematographer Bojan Bazelli, who paints the screen so beautifully across the CinemaScope frame. The golden lighting in this is really inspired by giving a warm feeling to such a taut thriller about cold, emotionless duplicates subverting the human race, and some of the great noir-style backlighting and interesting compositions and juxtapositions really make sure that this adaptation does not fall short in the area of striking, moody visuals. And leading the film is a young and very beautiful Gabrielle Anwar, who really delivers on the relatable teen angst of this character. And the film begins with a very familiar tone as sort of an early 90s teen drama playing out with a combative family, and Anwar's Marty Malone feeling already like an outsider in this very conformist environment. And she really puts on a very genuine, heartfelt performance that hits the beats of terror very well, and strikes up good chemistry with all her co-stars to make you feel for a situation as it progresses from ordinary to extraordinary. And whether it's the romantic beats with Lost Boys' Billy Wirth as helicopter pilot Tim, or the building family conflicts, she does a fine job that resonates throughout the entire film. And of special note is Meg Tilly really nailing a great part as Marty's stepmother Carol, or more specifically as the duplicate of her stepmother, having such great little subtle creepy moments throughout her screen time, hitting everything with precision and just a beautiful sense of execution. Her speech to Carol's husband Steve about there being nowhere to run because there's no one like you left is simply chilling, punctuated by the shrill scream, a concept held over from the Phil Kaufman 1978 adaptation. And the remainder of the cast mostly does a very good quality job with smaller roles by Forrest Whitaker as the military doctor that gets driven insane by the horrifying reality building up around him, and Ermey, who does his best as the military base commander. However, I do feel that he has far too much natural character and personality in his southern accented voice to effectively convey the cold, creepy monotone of an emotionless alien duplicate. Now, Body Snatchers does deliver on a number of nicely creepy and scary moments that carry it along well enough, but it scares more with its visuals and situations than it does with ideas. While some critics have thrown in a perception of social commentary on the conformist, emotionally detached mentality of the military, I don't view that as the intentions of Abel Ferrara here. It might serve as a half-clever cover for the invasion to stem out from, but the film doesn't make any active commentary upon it. The film also doesn't hit the paranoia as hard as it could have, possibly because of its limited confines and lesser developed characters than the Don Siegel or Phil Kaufman adaptations. It certainly has the creepy scenes built upon the infiltration of these inhuman duplicates, but doesn't really soak you in to the uncertainty and fear of who is and is not human. Instead, it is far more focused on its main character and her direct conflicts as his invasion begins to absorb everyone she loves right into it. Now, Abel Ferrara has said that he'd love to do another remake to take the story back to its source material, really craft something with those elements and dynamics, because Body Snatchers doesn't nail down the intricacies that the material is so rich with and isn't a great film. It also doesn't have anything close to a stinger ending, but opts more for a potentially foreboding one. However, I do enjoy this version for its quality filmmaking, nicely acted cast, and the moments where it does hit inspired beats of horror. I do feel Abel's talent, alongside the strong visuals and the superb score by Abel's regular composer of Joe Delia, really elevate a screenplay that's not actually exceptional in and of itself. I do feel this film is worth checking out, even if it doesn't reach the same richness as its predecessors. Many people feel the same way, but I have a little bit more of a positive thing coming out of this film, with a nice sense of chilling atmosphere and really good execution of what it possibly could achieve, considering that Abel came on so late in pre-production to really work with a script he wasn't entirely happy with. But guys, I would definitely say this is worth giving a rental to. So you can find Body Snatchers easily available from Warner Archive Collection on effectively bare bones Blu-ray and DVD releases. But guys, if you've seen this version of Body Snatchers, I definitely invite your comments below. If you enjoyed this review, get your thumbs up, and as always, stick around for more great stuff, as Forever Horror Month continues on. So guys, thanks much. Take care. Bye-bye.